I'm going to start with a little overview over the stereo system to pick up from the last video. Just shortly, this is something that I've been building from scratch for a period of like 2 years now, and this is where it's ended up. I set something like this up to then tune it for a month or two while I learn about what this system does, and that informs how I proceed and what I build next. So what we're going to do this time is put the bass reflex slots in the bass cabinets and finish them so that they look a little bit more living room friendly.
So I've got the two bass cabinets set up, and I'm just doing the last testing on what the closed cabinet frequency response is going to be. The microphone set up at the listening position pretty closely to just give the in-room response that these boxes produce. The machining MDF is dusty, like that dust. Looks like I've been out in the frost or something like that. No, it's dust. Nasty stuff, by the way. Makes my skin itch. Yeah, I've got the first speaker routed. Went without any hiccups. Luckily, I've done the measurements. Holy, that is beautiful. That 6 dB gain, that is sick. That equals to 4 times the power. And okay, the brace is in, and let's say I'm pretty happy with the glue joints. I didn't expect them to come out this good, to be honest. It's really difficult to clamp it down this way, but I've just applied a little bit of pressure and then pressed the brace down again to create a little bit of static pressure against the top panel. I do think these joints are going to be tight, and what I might just do is run a bit of glue in here. I can basically add as much as I want to make sure that this is certainly never going to leak. Some progress on the bass bins, almost ready for paint, and listening to lovely Gojira. Few details, all the screw holes are filled. You can see it's more or less just the screw hole and other imperfections as well. The corners, the bass reflex slot.
60-year-old monster. She don't care about no age though. Just these money's longer. We both went John Loughborough. I got kicked out for conduct. Jail by 15. Who'd you think hit me? First letter from Mark, second from Sonia.
I think the surface finish is starting to show. I'm a little bit worried about some of the screw holes where there seems to be some unevenness. I'm gonna sand these again. As you can see, the painting has left a little bit of this on here. So there's, even with the painting, there's still some unevenness, and I've just decided to add some filler around some of the defects that are still visible and sand these again. I'm gonna put on the internal wire, and I've been very meticulous and careful in the preparation. Got my big boy soldering iron heating up, and the connector's ready to go. So those turned out nice, finally. It was all held in the right place, and now I'm going to trim these. Seeing these back for the first time in all white, these things look fucking sick in reality. As do these guys. For stuffing, I ended up using about 500 grams of polyester pillow stuffing. I'd hit quite a critical point where I added half a pillow more material, which is not a lot, which is maybe like 20% more, and the base completely kind of lacked. And putting in a little bit less stuffing material makes the resonance go up. They have basically no physical impact kind of feel to them, but you can hear the bass go like stupidly low, and it's just amazing. Speakers are playing again.
Okay, the speakers are completely finished. Yeah, they are. It's kind of hard to believe, to be honest. I'm super excited to have them like that, and so I'm thinking to basically use them with simply a tweeter on top. If you imagine what the frequency response looks like, it's pretty much just flat until some point in the treble range. It's definitely going to hit like a peak, and that's going to be quite harsh. But I'm thinking as long as I can just cut out that peak with a notch filter, these are going to roll off in the high range naturally. So maybe just add a tweeter on from there.
So the assembly is now in place, and the way that this hooks up is by getting a cable into the connectors on the back, where it splits off to a tweeter branch, and here we have the notch filter output that goes down to the plain speaker jacks. Biggest problem is here that we have baffle step, and then we have this louder region, and that basically made the whole thing still sound quite shouty. So in the next version, I thought of doing a baffle step correction, which is a network like this, and what I'm discussing here, you can see, is ending up looking like this. So the super simple crossover that I was going to do, basically crossover-less, but still with a lot of compensation on the woofer and first order filter on the tweeter, was becoming quite the monstrosity and wasn't exactly what I was going for. But then I thought, look at that, it's basically a rising response. So I put in the end a simple coil on that and a simple cap on the tweeter with a level adjustment. So that ends up being just about the simplest crossover here that you could possibly build. What I decided on after a week of listening was to introduce a second coil, which creates a second order roll-off on the tweeter here. And now I feel like it really was playing as clean as it could, which any tweeter should, crossing it with a second order slope around 6K. So that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with it. And even more happy that I'm probably never going to have to take these bass bins apart again. So, signing out, and see you in the next video.